Okay, we're gonna start up part 2 of removing the dashboard out of this 2008 Buick Enclave. So this will be a dashboard removal, a continuous of part 1. Tools you'll need, like I mentioned in part 1, you'll need a 7mm socket, nut driver. You'll need a swivel in order to get in the tight spots up against the windshield. A number 10 socket. You have 10mm bolts in the dashboard. You have Phillips screws, so you need a Phillips screwdriver, maybe a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. Something that don't strip the bolt, something that'll hold good. And then also, of course, some wedges to remove, to get back here, to take these panels off, to wedge around here to pop that off, and to, the little fasteners to pop those things out. I'll leave a picture in the description of or a list of things that I'll use. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Unfortunately, my action camera is I don't know what's going on with it, but we're gonna use this cell phone. Hopefully we don't get many phone calls on it. And if I'm talking through it and it's stopping, I pick up talking about dinosaurs or whatever, that means I edit it and start talking about something else because something took so long. I'm projecting this with taking my time. Since it's the good dashboard, it should take about an hour and a half with stops in making this video. All right, here we go. All right, as mentioned, we're gonna take the panel off the side here. So we're gonna pop that off. I'm gonna use a little chisel, try to pop that out and find some spots, and there we go. Look in there and you'll see the pins. See those little fasteners that slide in the groove, and then back there in the back slide out. Now we want to be careful because we're going to pretty much use all of these. And then you'll see the 7mm screws here that you'll be taking off there for starters. Then we're going to move over here, glove box. I'm going to show you how to remove the glove box. The glove box, the slide mechanisms is held on by these. They can twist, but sometimes when I tried on the other truck, they were pretty hard to twist with my finger. So I end up taking of her an adjustable wrench to use it to grip it, to turn it. And then I use my pry tool to try to whip it on out of there. So I'm not going to show you everything in detail. I'm going to stop and work with a few spots so that I don't bore you guys and I don't look like I'm doing a really hack job, but I definitely wanted you guys to see in details. And I know some people that probably do it better than I can, faster, because this ain't what I do for a living. So okay, well, I'm gonna pause it, put the camera down, remove the glove box, and then remove the glove box, and then come back up whenever we start on the look at me, I'll get the moving and going. And so another thing with the glove box, though, you got to keep in mind, at the bottom of the glove box, you basically just pop it up. It just sits in a groove. If you look here, which we can take that off because it's another panel underneath. What I do, I left it in the glove box, didn't I? So under here, let me get a better light here a second. I'm working at night, so I'm using light, flashlights and light. Okay, so under here we have a push pin right there. We're gonna pry that out of there and then get this down. There's another push pin down over here. Pry it out there, push that down, and that would expose this would expose the blower motor. That's your blower motor there. So if you ever, your vents stop blowing, that's what the blower motor is at. And this is the light. This should be able to just twist out the spot and move. So we're gonna set this over to the side. So here's how the glove box is snap. As you can see, it's basically just a mouth, and it just clamps down on these little guide pins there. So when we open the glove box, as you can see, it actually, you can see them pivoting and moving. So once we get the guides off, that actually helps lower it. We pull those off, then we'll be able to, there we go. So now we'll be able to just pop the glove box, lift it up and pop it out of place. So as you can see, the glove box is really hanging down now. So I should be able to lift up on it and pop it out of place. Hopefully it pops out of place without damaging too much. So I'm gonna put the phone down and do that so I can make sure I can pop that out without no damages. Okay, we got it out. As you can see, the rods there for the dash, for the glove box. Those rods I was telling you about. And you can see now on the glove box itself how it just grabs down on it. So we're gonna get that out the way and show you some more. Okay, so we got to get this trim off, which it has those snap fasteners on it, just like it has those snap fasteners on it, just like these here. So you basically want to take your time, go around it to try to locate where they at, and hopefully you don't. Okay, that one popped out good there. And let's see if I can get so lucky on this corner side here. Sometimes you might come out better with getting the light back there and looking and seeing where they at, and putting a wedge back there to try to get it off. So I'm gonna continue to work that. It's gonna be a little slow video. I'm gonna continue to work that. Okay, it popped out. I was gonna say I was gonna put this down so I don't take a chance of damaging anything. Now this one in the corner kind of difficult because I don't know what it is, but this was kind of difficult when I took it off for part one, and I want to make sure I don't snap this corner, because I believe last time I snapped the corner taking it off. It was right in the corner. So I'm gonna look at there. So you gotta be careful. I did the exact same thing on the other. Fortunately, it's inside the glove box, so it's not being seen. But nobody wants to tear up their own stuff. But obviously, it's my vehicle, so I didn't intend to do it. But yep, and the piece that broke off is wedged way up underneath that dashboard, so it's kind of a tight spot to get to. But as you can see, we got it off, and it's right on that corner inside the glove box, which you won't see it. So still, not trying to say it's a good thing, but anyway. And then you got the light switch here, which I believe you can just squeeze this and pull it out. So let's see about the light switch here. Get that off, and look like just some squeeze tabs there. Let me put this down and see if I can squeeze it and go for that. Okay, stand by a second. I think it's just squeezing these tabs. It's just one-hander action here, trying to figure it out. So okay, let me work on that and get back. Okay, to actually take this glove box light switch off, it's actually a tab right here on the back side. As you can see, it was on the back side of the harness, and this little slot here, take a flathead or pick to open it up to slide off that little groove there. So simple basic things like that. So now we'll get the 7mm screws off on this side here and go from there. All right, I'm going to use a 7mm driver to take them off, but they're not tight. Just be mindful of dropping it. I'm on rocks and gravel, so I drop it, it'll be a hard find. Plus we don't like drop, we can't afford to drop nothing. We don't catch anything in our tire, but at least I found it right away. And I'll just throw it on the floor, because I'll put the screws on this side, on this floor and that, or you get your container, put them in, whatever you're most comfortable with. I'm okay with just leaving here because I know exactly where they go. Okay, so we got that out. We also can start taking these screws out of the bottom of the dashboard here. If I can show you, you have the screws here, there, and that's underneath the glove box. Those 3 tabs there, 3 screws. So I'm gonna take those out. I should have my impact and do a little faster. So hold on, let me set that up. Okay, so I got my impact set up with my 7mm. That'll make it go a little faster for us. And keep them going a little faster on in the locations that we can get to. Okay, so you don't have to take those off. Well, actually you do. I'm sorry, I take that back. We're going to take all this off. We're going to take all this off. So I take that back. Actually, it's just this. Nope, it is just this. This all comes off in the front. So now let's go up here so I'm going to show you one of the most difficult. Okay, so to take this off the latch, which this is broken. So, but to take it off, it's actually 2 Phillips screws in there. There's 2 Phillips screws in here inside, which we can show you. 2 Phillips screws inside there. If you see those 2 Phillips screws, and then on the back side here, you have one of those pop-in push pins on that side, and that's a speaker underneath there. So we're going to go ahead and get that screw out of there. We're going to drive that screw out of there, both out. And I really hope this helped some people not fear to get into a big project. Oh, this is definitely a big project. There's no doubt. I mean, it's a lot of memory to go back and remember in this stuff. But it gives you a chance to see it from a different perspective. Okay, so we got that, and like I said, it's up here. There's some push pins, and I personally use a chisel. Well, it all depends. Like that, I probably use not that. Oh yeah, there you go. Here we go. The pry bar, pick, whatever you want to call it, and get underneath there. And it's kind of, the pin is kind of up on this side a bit. So I'm gonna try to see if I can pop that with a wheel on this. Okay, it should be there. Should be able to pop it. There we go. We popped it up. So we're gonna go on the other side and pop that too. So, all right, we made it to the other side. And I know some people can only work with their dominant hand. Me personally, I can work with both hands. And this is how this comes out. So now you get to see how that works. So the whole tray comes out. It's held on by the 2 screws in the inside and the 2 push tabs on the bottom. So you get to see exactly how that works. We're going to stick stuff back there in the back, and you can see that we have the speaker on the dash, and you see the speaker on the dash. And now here's sort of the tough one that's really crucial. This part, I don't even know what it's called, but this part of the dashboard back here where the vent is, this is really brittle, and it's held on with those push through pins also. But you won't be able to get this out until you move the pillars. This one is easy, simple. We're gonna pop those covers off, 10mm screws, boom, come on off, disconnect the ABS tab. I'm sorry, not ABS, I'm sorry. The airbag tab, and then run those 10mm screws out, no problem. But over here, I had a hard time. I don't know if this push in pin is some way to clamp it, but I tore it up. I mean, I ripped it up in order to get it out because I didn't know what I was doing. So, but I'm gonna go get the other one to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, like I was explaining. So here's that push pin that's on the pillar for the airbag on the driver's side. As you can see, I honestly don't know how that works. Now that I'm looking at it, I personally believe that you can pop. Let me go back in the light. Okay, so I'm back in the light now. And now that I'm looking at it, I believe that I did all that for nothing, because you see it's a screw. It's a screw in there. So I'm thinking maybe you would have to pop this cover off and unscrew it. Let's see. And if I'm right, then I'm glad I'm doing this video. Look at there. Sure is. So, and it's a tab to hold on so it won't come off. But obviously I was able to sneak it out. So there it is. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad I'm doing this video so nobody else make the same mistake. So I guess it's not as difficult. You pop that cover off, and it's a 7mm screw in there. So hey, I tell you what, let's go for it. Let's go for it. We'll pop the airbag cover off. I'm gonna take it and pop the airbag cover off like we just saw. Man, I tell you what, look at there. The one that I thought was difficult, it turned out not to be difficult when you have instructions. But I'm a wing it person, so there's a 7. We'll leave it on this side here, and that's all it takes. Look at that, and you can see that the cover wiggles itself on out. And then you got the harness for the airbag sensor, and it's just a push tab. Let me get some light for everybody so they can see. It's a push tab type of fitting. So we'll push it there and pull it through. Now that one I can't do with 2 hands, 1 hand. So I'm gonna try to see if I can balance that like that. Push it in and pull it out. So that's exactly what happened. And just like that, we got a pillar off. Oh man, I'm glad I'm able to help you guys. All right, stand by. Okay, so we're back on this side. I'm gonna make an attempt to pry these tabs out, which I'm sure some better tools that do this, but I'm using a pretty relatively small. Got the tab there. Then same difference here. Same thing. Dig down in there, and there is some 10mm screws inside there. 10mm screw. So we'll get those out, and that's the only thing holding this particular. I'm sorry guys, like I said, I'm doing a cell phone. Okay, we'll back it out. Back it out, and there we go. And there's another bolt there. Grab the handle, and you gotta wedge it, because if you look, it's like staked down in some holes. When I show you on this one, as we try to pull it up, wedge it out of there. And I'm gonna actually put this down and use 2 hands so I don't break anything, and I can show you in a moment. Okay, so that one requires a little bit of work to wedge out of there, but same difference though. It's got the push pin type, push down on the wire and pull it out. Let's see if I can get it out. Let me set it up here a second. Try to get it out by setting the camera down. Okay, and oh, I'm sorry, I'm rolling the camera on you guys. All right, and just like that, we have the ABS out. Now, like I was saying, this part up here is, this one's in good shape, so I'm gonna try my best not to break it. But that up there is a push stand. Got those push pins, and you gotta remember, because of the heat and everything, it's probably likely brittle. So, and heat saturated. So I'm gonna try to find my pry bar, which I don't know what I did with it. Likely it's probably on the side over there. But I guess I'll try with this wedge. And now I can go, okay, there we go. There we go, we got one. I'm actually gonna take a longer screwdriver to try to reach to the other side got two. But like I said, it's a few of them in here, and I can go to the other one I have and look to find out exact locations, which would help a lot. But I'm just gonna take my time and pry them up, and hopefully everything comes apart with not much of a problem for me. I'm using okay, come on, where you at, girl? Okay, I see you. I just want to make sure I get enough. There we go. And I'm gonna go on that side now so I can try to get that. And you can see I'm pretty much popped out there. Okay, so let's try some more on this side now. I got on this side. Let's see here. Let's get close enough to it so we don't. There we go. Come on, work with me. You don't want no problems. There we go. All right, girl. Look like we got her all out. There we go. So, as you guys can see, take your time. Take your time. And you should be able to, I think I can be able to slide it forward. Yes. Slide it forward, and it has a rubber seal back there. Slide it forward, and then you have the sensor here, which I believe you can just turn it. Yep, you just turn it and drop it off. And as you can see, this piece comes out, and you can see the rubber seal that goes on it. So keep that in mind when you go put it back on. That seal goes on that front side. You know, these trucks are equipped with much quiet sounds, and all this little stuff makes a difference. Okay, let me get this out and get back. All right, so we got that out the way. I'm gonna let this steering wheel all the way down because we're gonna start prying here as well. As you can see, let me get my light. We have quite a few 7mm screws up there on the dash. You have 7mm screws up there, and then you have the 10mm bolts on this side. I can only guess that since the airbag is on the right side, they're being held on a little stronger. So this is where extension and the swivel come in handy to get those out. So I'm gonna set mine up now. Teach his own on the two choices, but I got a smaller 7mm. Well, let me just get it set up and I'll get back. Okay, so I got mine set up. I got my nut driver with a swivel with a 7mm on it. And I am going to attempt to reach back here and get this one. So be mindful when you're doing it on if you're using a ratchet, because you don't want to click on your windshield. So basically that's what it's going to take to get these out up on the dash, an extension with a swivel. So I'm gonna get these out and get back with you. Okay, I got the 7mm on this side. Now on this side, I'm using a ratchet with an extension of 10 because these bolts actually are a little stronger. So need a little more leverage on these to do these. A little more strength to do these. So I'm gonna just show you my setup, and then I'm gonna put the phone down and get these out of here. But yeah, a swivel and extension will help a lot. So let me get these out. All right, now on this boat over here next to the vent, I actually set up a 1/4" drive 10mm because I couldn't get a good grip on the 3/8 drive. I couldn't get a good grip. It wouldn't fit as easy. So, but the 1/4" with the swivel definitely got up. Uh-oh. I don't know if it's telling everybody about the glass, so be careful. It's definitely got the bite. So let me get that out of there and we'll be back. Okay, so got those out, and I want to show you something else. We have, if you can look in there, you got, get this wire out the way. Right behind that wire, It's a bolt there, and it's a bolt, 10mm bolt. That is your airbag bolt. So we got to get those out. Pretty much simple. Get you an extension, 10mm extension. Break it free. Go to the next one. Break it free, or get your impact. Back it out. I'm just gonna twist it by hand, and I'll get those out and get back with you. Okay, so now we're back on this side to get this panel off. Like I said, I use a wedge to slide in there. Hopefully find a spot. There we go. There we go. Got that out. Slide that out, and then you have the 7mm screws there too, there and there. So we're gonna get a driver. I'm using a nut driver by hand. Get those off, and I'll just throw them over there. Now this particular section here, though, you actually take this vent, part of this dashboard and vent off. It comes off like so. This portion, it was the other screw that was up there that we took off. It's actually take this off. It's one of those push-in pins in the center here. Let me see if I can work that. There we go. Loose. Like so. And there you have it. There's your vent off right there. It's a cover. So we'll take that and set that to the back. And we'll set this there too. And as you see, so that exposed some more 7mm bolts. And then this will take this down also, and it's some 7mm bolts, screw heads behind it as well. This just pops down. It's got those push pins, and you got to be mindful. Like now, I believe it's like 38 degrees out here, so I'm kind of at mercy with the Mother Nature here on brittleness. So if you look, we have more 7mm screws across the top there, and then right there in the back as well for this bezel, for the bezel around there. So let me work those out and get back with you. Okay, so we got those screws out that was up on the dashboard. Those will fall out there eventually, and you kind of can grip this because this has this bezel, whatever you want to call it. It has a push pin on it as well on the corner. I try not to break it. In this situation, we have another one that I didn't break that we're going to use on the actual car we were fixing. So I don't want to break it. Now I want to show you guys this. Those push pins are really tough. However, it is a push pin exactly right here. Now I didn't break it on the last one, but it's colder now, and I hope, matter of fact, let me close this door. Yeah, that wind is coming from that direction. So it's a push pin right here, and it's tight. It's hard to not break. However, I was able to get it the first time. I might be successful. And this has the push pins on it. You just gotta be mindful. It's one like centered like right there. There you go. Now as you can see, it's off, but you got that push pin right there. And when I tell you, if you know, and just think this center console is the beauty part about it. This car, one of the big beauties. So let's see here. Oh, I'll take that. I'll take that. So we was able to get that out without breaking it. And as you can see so far, she's getting she's undressing pretty good. And if you want, you can take that speaker out up there and unplug it. You still have to unplug it regardless. So it'll help to take it off and unplug it now before you start pulling on the dashboard and have to get the wire out. So it's just two 7mm screws on it as well. And I'll get this out and get back with you guys. Okay, so we got the speaker out, and as you can see, it's just a push tab on the bottom here to push out and slide out. So we're gonna do that and get going. I was able to do it. Look at that. I was able to do it with one hand. I'll take that help. Not quite one hand. Okay, let me get it off. Okay, so like I said, she's undressing. We got some more 7mm here to take the instrument cluster off there. We got one down there. We pretty much took them all off around it, so we got one there, and we'll pull that off now. I should have a driver with one ready now. Let me get it ready. Okay, so we got a driver to get that last bottom 7mm out. I actually chose a longer extension. I really didn't need an extension, so be mindful. And it should be out. Should be off enough where I can pull it out enough. And I hope this helping so far. Okay, got it out. And it's a wire harness on the left side. We'll take that screw so she don't fall. And pull this out. Wire harness on this left side. Oh wow, she came right on out. I wonder why. But anyway, typically she wouldn't have came out like that. But we'll take that easy out. And normally if you'll be pushing this tab, pushing the tab down to get it off. So we'll take that out. Now here you'll see a 10mm screw here and a 10mm bolt there. Those have to come out. Okay, so I got those backed out. As you can see, they'll pull it pretty tight. As you can see, the dashboard is pretty loose. So what we got to do now, you can see the dashboard is pretty loose. So we basically we're down to this center portion. So this is where it gets a little tricky. Like I said before, I use a chisel. I'll just slide down the side, try to find the push pins areas like such. I go around it. I mean, I'm sure there's other methods, but this ain't what I do for a living, so it's something I'm trying. So as you can see, it was able to pop that out. I don't know about the bottom, so we're gonna just take our time and, okay, there we go. Okay, so some push pins at the bottom. So we got that out, and you want to disconnect all these wires because the dash got to come out. But as you can see now, we still have more 7mm screws, and those should be the last of the screws. So we'll take the radio out and go from there. And take the radio out, and then might be some screws behind it, which it is. We'll take those out. Okay, so we got the climate control and the radio out the way. As you can see, we still have some screws, 7mm screws there, and back there we have to get out. We'll get those out and see. Okay, we got those out, and as you can see, dashboard is pretty much out. It's unbolted. Everything's off. Here you might have you have to lift this part up out of the little slot. It's like, you know, groove so it can fit it. So I'm gonna work it out by hand and then show you one off. But as you can see, it's dashboard's pretty much off. I mean, it's unbolted down. That's all that's left is letting it off. So I need both hands. Stand by. Okay, on this right side, you have a wire clamp that's here. This little black spot here, I'm just gonna pull the wire off. And then on this side here, I want to say the airbag wire harness is plugged up on that side. We have to unplug it, and that's it. So I'll get those off, and you'll be able to see those. And that's the only thing holding the dashboard in right now. Okay, all the wires unhooked, the ABS wires unplugged, and as you can see, the dashboard is pretty much can be lifted out of there. So it's going to take two hands to lift off, and all you need to do also is just pay attention. Like now, I just saw the wire for the clock here, so just pay attention, little extra wires. But I think That's the only one. It's that clock there. And this all pops out if you want to unplug it, but I think I remember, I believe it just twists out. So the clock there, and that's about the only thing you have to figure out. But once I get it off, I'll tell you exactly how it comes out. Thanks. Okay, as you can see, once I got the clock wire off, I actually cut it because I didn't want to pop this out, but I'll be able to wire it back in on the other one or plug it up, and it just save time to do it at this moment. And I believe I can lift it up with one hand and grab the dashboard out. So yeah, so I'm able to carry the dashboard out with one hand. So there it is. I think it was successful. Look at that, dashboard out. Stand by. We're gonna go ahead and set it down. I'll show you. There it is. Dashboard is out. All right, as you can see, here's the dashboard. It's out. And you can see the other one out too. See the airbag deployed and pops out and tears the dashboard up. So there it is. She's out. So we'll get the windshield swapped out tomorrow, and then we'll probably do swap. Well, actually, the windshields will be swapped out in the morning, and it saves me $200 to get somebody to come out and pull the good windshield off and just swap the two windshields out. I can save $200 that way, and anytime you can make a save on saving by doing it yourself or knowing somebody, it's a good save. And once again, here it is, the dashboard on a 2008 Buick Enclave. Removal part 2 is wrapped. We had a light installed and got it done. And any questions, if I can help, this ain't what I do for a living, but I'm just a guy that pay attention to detail and was able to do it. Any questions and details, let me know. And for the record, this parts truck, if you need any parts off of it, let me know, because this truck, we will be parting it out and then scrapping it when we're done, because we only got it for the parts. So if you need any parts off this truck, let me know, because it'll be going as a front wheel drive, and it does run and drive. And appreciate you guys following me on this project, and part 3 will be coming soon. Thank you.